Lori, Tara, Tina. Yep, we are good.
All right, good morning. Welcome to Northampton County's General Purpose Authority meeting of Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. Sarah, could you please take roll?
Mr. Anthony,
I am here.
Mr. Dertinger,
Here.
Ms. Pearson,
Here.
Mr. Kraft,
Here.
Ms. Hefner, Mr. Donchez,
Here.
and Mr. Colondo is excused. And then
All
we
right.
have Solicitor Kelhart, myself, Tina, and Dawn.
And we do have a quorum.
Correct.
All right, in your meeting packet was minutes from the January 7th, 2025 meeting. I need a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Charles. Need a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lori. Any questions on that motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any public comment?
None that I'm aware of.
All right, thank you. Treasurer's report, Ron.
Good morning. You have in front of you the treasurer's report for the end of March 1st, 2025. The balance sheet shows total assets of $1,439,400.57, which consists mainly of our cash and cash equivalents of $1,064,928.36. Total liabilities less our accounts note payable with the Rising Tide Fund is $1,092,186.23. You'll see on the income statement shortly our year-to-date small net loss, and then we have an ending fund balance of $1,089,400.57. If you go to the next page, that's our general fund account year-to-date income statement for March 31st, and you'll see we have the interest income, we paid our liability insurance, and we show a net loss at this point of $2,785.66. And then the last page is our GPA Capital Project Fund, which is a flow-through account. Income revenue through the period is $111,464, and the expenditure is the same amount, to $111,464, showing us a net of zero. Any questions?
Yeah, Ron, there may be a correction here. It says as of March 31st, 2025.
That's my bad.
Yeah, that should, you're right, that should probably be, I'm assuming,
February.
if you could confirm it, yeah, February 1st. So the balance sheet is February, but our income statement is as of March?
Oh, February 29th,
No, so the,
28th.
28th.
28th?
February
yeah, so I
28th.
think the income statement should be as of February, right?
Do we need a motion to amend that or no? It says on the
Yeah.
top,
So both,
as of
Top,
3:01.
I was just going to
so the,
the budget to actual on page.
Right, so
Yeah,
when I
so
when
I
I
would
ran
make-
the report, I just entered the wrong date.
Okay.
yeah, I would
So-
make a motion that on the income
imagine they'll be true
statement,
to
on
it
both
then
the
anyway.
general fund and capital project fund, that we should just note that the date should be as of March 01, 2025, which is really, at the end of February, the first day into March, not
Motion.
Yeah.
the March 31st, 2025.
Motion to amend
Well,
as
we haven't
such.
accepted it, so I don't think we have, because we can adjust it.
I'll
We haven't
second
accepted it
the
as such.
heading correction motion. This is Pam.
That's all right, Charles.
Just
That's fine.
Fix it.
Any questions on that motion? All right, seeing none, those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve, except for audit as amended.
Motion? Do I need a
Second.
Second. Thank you, Charles. Everybody okay, everybody hear that motion?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, any questions on the motion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Lori. Invoices for payment, Sarah, you want to walk us through that, please?
Sure. We have Alfred Benish and Company for a total of $4,746.14. Norfolk Southern for $1,747.80. TRC, which was for Bridge 124 beam inspection, for $635.11. We have our audit from Riley and Company, and this is the first and second installments, for a total of $11,533.33. And then payable to DCED for first quarter admin services at $16,748.40 for a total of $35,410.78.
Thank you, and all the documentation is attached.
Correct.
All right, need a motion to pay the invoices, please.
So moved?
Thank you, Charles. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Lori. Any questions on that motion? All right, seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is invoices paid to date. Again, that's just informational only. All right. Next item's the resolution, 2025-01 Dixie Cup Resolution. All right, anybody here to talk on that, Sarah, or not?
Joanne, I don't know if you wanted,
Oh,
Well, that you had already passed a resolution to accept this property, and with the idea that you were going to then turn it over.
She needs to
in
turn her
one-
mic on.
Oh, I'm sorry, How about now, you got me?
Yep. Better.
Okay, all right, so you've already accepted and passed a resolution to accept this property. Now, this is the second part of it, to turn the property over to Skyline so that the project can be completed. And this is the resolution for you to do that. It is the same pieces, excuse me, the same parcels that you accepted and that you are now passing through.
okay. I need a motion, sure.
We do have with us, Mr. Barty is here today from Skyline. If you have questions about what the parcel will be in his care, and also Mr. Barron is here to answer any questions from the logistical part of the actual transfer.
Sure, we'd like to hear from Mr. Barty. Hey, good morning.
Doing?
Good.
So we are taking that parcel, and we are taking the original Dixie Cup from the top of the building, and we're placing it there so that the public can interact with it. We're having Bruce Rosenbaum from the Netflix series, Amazing Interiors, to redesign the whole Dixie Cup Promenade and really turn it into a fabulous amenity for the public. So it'll probably be the first time that the public can actually interact with a 101-year-old piece of history. So that's what we're doing with that lot that's being assembled. If anybody else has any other questions.
Any questions for Mr. Barty?
Excellent.
I just have a general so we transfer the property to him and then we have no more ownership and
That's
or
correct.
responsibility.
That's correct. And also, any of the costs for that transfer are to be assumed by the developer. You'll notice that that's one of the sub-paragraphs,
Thank you.
consistent with what we have been doing all along.
All right, if there's no other questions, I need a motion to approve resolution number 2025-01, please.
So moved.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Lori. Ken, was that a second?
Well, that was a first, but yeah, sure.
Actually, my breath was there and you just didn't hear the breath, Ken. It's okay.
All right. All right, so there's a motion and a second. Any questions on that motion? All right, seeing none, those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Greg, bridge project.
Speaking of people who should be exhaling,
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Does everybody have a copy of the status report? Okay. So, start with Bridge 124. Since I last been here, just a little recap. A letter of substantial completion was sent on January 3rd. The bridge was opened shortly thereafter. We went to visit the site on January 17th to check out some punch list items. We sent updated punch list on January 18th. There were some items that we couldn't see due to the snow and the ice. I went out there this morning to take a look, and one of the punch list items can be taken off the list. Because I know they did some work out there in between. There was 14 items on the list, and now there's 13 items on the list for Bridge 124.
I'm sorry, there's how many now?
13.
Okay.
13. And a majority of them, I would say, would have to be done in warm weather. I wouldn't want them, painting lines below, 50 degrees as noted in the standards and et cetera, with some of the, concrete work and steel and asphalt, et cetera. So there is some warmer weather type things in there as well.
All right, but just on that point, there's a few there that they could have taken care of, and it wasn't weather dependent.
Yeah, such as the riprap. There's some riprap under the bridge they could have done, stonework. They noted, I asked on January 24th, they noted the punch list items will be completed once the weather gets warmer, and they've started to notify the overhead utilities to relocate back to the permanent location.
All right, so on the weather gets warmer, that's kind of subjective.
It is.
Thank you.
It is.
Have the batch plants, asphalt plants closed down?
If they're usually, it all depends. I mean, typically they're open if there's a PennDOT inspector in the plant. But, for base, it's 35 degrees and wearing is 40 degrees. They have to put some sealing on here that they would probably get. Most likely, it's just oil that they put on to seal around the joints. There's some grooving they had to do at the one corner. They got to seal that a little bit as well too. It's something they could get, now that the weather's warmer.
I was gonna
They
ask,
do.
you need 10 days of that weather, or can it just be one day or
No, it could be one
3
day.
days?
It could be one day.
Maybe one
Sorry,
day.
rates are rising.
Yeah. Yeah, it could-
Really, we've had days that this could have been taken care of.
There've been some warmer days, yeah.
Today.
Okay.
So that's it for 124. For Bridge 101, the Krieger got their extension on their right-of-way agreement with Norfolk Southern until the end of April. And the flaggers sent an email saying that they are available on April 21st, and that's the date set to do the paving.
April 21st.
Correct. We have not been out to Bridge 101 since I've last been here, because no work has been done since then.
Okay, and, I'm sorry, are you finished with?
That's it for 101.
Is there any punch list items there besides the paving?
We didn't really do we'll call it quote-unquote punch list because the construction's not complete yet, but we did give 3 things on the list. Milling overlay of Hanoverville Road, placing some riprap on the downstream side, and guide rail has to be erected.
Again, that could have been completed whenever, it's not weather dependent.
Oh, yeah, correct, yeah. Well, the overlay is weather dependent.
Well, the
but
riprap and the guide
riprap
rail-
and
the
yeah,
guide
but
rail.
you wouldn't do the guide rail until the road's paved.
Okay.
So you pave it first, then do the guide rail second. And jump into Bridge 41, similar, there's been no action, and they said they'll be completed when the weather warms up as well.
But I'm trying to remember if I've ever heard them say that before, or for 4 years in a row. No, it was for 4 years in a row, for the love of God. I mean, at one point or another, we have to recognize they're not going to do it. They're just not. And we should contract someone else to do that, certainly in a manner and in a fashion so that it's in time that we can deduct it from this year's bill so that this work can be completed and we can, not that I don't love Bridge 41, but I think for you, for Michael, there's been nothing more painful, more drawn out, more ridiculous than Bridge 41. From all aspects. I think that bridge has been involved in this project for the entirety of its length. From redesigns to getting permits, to changing the permits, to getting everything squared away, to having them push it off because it was too complex, they didn't want to do it. For the love of God, this bridge is now in its 7th or 8th year? It's absurd. So if they're not going to be out there in short order, I think we just get someone else to do the work. There was a moment of weakness this past month where I was in that neighborhood, and I really was, I put my blinker on. I was going to go down there, and I thought, let me not. I'm having a really nice day, and I don't need that, because I have a sense that that culvert is still cattywampus, and that would just have set me off. Let me ask, culvert hasn't been moved, right? Okay, so I was right. I didn't have to take the trip.
All right, Charles, so let me
Is
just.
cattywampus a technical term
It
on
is.
bridges?
It's a trade term.
I love that term.
See?
See, everybody knows what it means. Like, all right, Greg, so final acceptance on 41 was given on 1/18/23. That was over 2 years ago, right? I mean,
Substantial
if-
completion, yeah.
Right, and there's still punch list items remaining as of last month, or I'm sorry, as of February. Yeah, okay, so, again, 1/18/23 was accepted. A year later, there was punch list items, and it still hasn't been taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah, no, well, I'm looking at the punch list on February of '24. I agree with Charles. Okay.
And Bridge 54, that's the one where we got another contractor to come out. We're still waiting for Med Ed. Both us and the contractor have been trying for months. I think every month I say the same thing here, so we're still keep trying. It's just moving a guy wire. So that's in our court with them.
And that's the last item there?
Yeah.
The guide
that's it.
wire?
Yeah, move a guy wire and remove the riprap, take a look at the pipe connection. And the maintenance items, there's been no update on any of the maintenance items.
Hang on, if I'm reading, I just want to read, Med Ed noted that the cost would be about $1,400 to remove the guy wire for the riprap.
And that's been paid,
That's been paid by,
the county.
but walk me back on that. I thought there was an issue there with the inlet. Am I in the right bridge or not?
That's the right one, correct.
That it wasn't
Yeah.
installed properly.
Well, we don't know. I mean, the pipe was connected, we weren't out there to see it. So it's a matter of just removing the riprap for us to take a look at to see if it's connected properly. Because when I snuck my head in, I saw some debris at that junction. That's all I have.
It's the same question you asked, but, you know, when they say when the weather warms up, I agree. I think, can that be clarified? Because is it warms up like to 35 degrees? Or is it, no, they need to plant and we need to make sure there's no snow? Because with Bridge 41, I thought you said it was,
There's some concrete work there, so I mean, I wouldn't be doing it in 20 degrees, but 40 or 50 degrees, that's a different discussion.
Yeah, but even at 20 degrees, there's additive.
There's, you could.
I mean,
yes,
everyone
you
else is doing construction work straight through the winter. They're not, necessarily working from lawn chairs, so it can be done.
oh, and you
Can be.
said,
The only things
does
that
it
can't
need
be
to
done.
be a 35-degree
Right, well,
day?
that's-
Or does it need to be 10 days of 35 degrees?
No, it's not. It's 35 degrees and rising for the day. So any one of these days that we've had this week, are possible days.
Correct.
So in total, how many, because you have for each one, but in total, how many items are outstanding that are waiting for quote-unquote warmer weather?
Well, on
Of the
Bridge,
non-maintenance?
yeah, well, on Bridge 124, you got paint the lines.
You said 13, right?
Yeah, but weather dependent, I said sealing the deck, painting the lines, and putting in a construction joint. That's probably the three things that are weather dependent on Bridge 124.
What about 101? That's just the
101
flaggers and that's it? Or no,
And the
after that
101
there'll be more?
101's the paving, so that's a 35 degrees for base and 40 degrees for the top coat.
Then after that, though, there's still some more work, the rip wrap and the guide rail.
Correct.
And is there a plan for the maintenance items?
I haven't received any update on the maintenance items I asked.
So, just, back on the paving, it's only Bridge 101 that needs paving?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the bridge is currently open, too. It never closed during construction.
All right. Any other questions for Greg?
Nope.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep, thank you.
This is getting smaller and smaller though.
Brent?
This big.
All right, next item is executive session. Joanne, do we need an executive session?
I think you do, you need a brief one, because we got a letter, and I really should discuss it.
Okay.
All right, well, did we want to take the other items and then do the executive session?
There are no, statement of
Go ahead.
financial.
New business staff report?
We can do that.
Sure.
Sarah?
Yeah, the only thing I have on there for new business staff report is the annual statement of financial interests. I included a form in the packet. Later today, I'll send out the link if you want to do it electronically. And just as a reminder, they're due May 1st.
Motion to move into executive session?
All right, I have a motion. I need a second, please.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll
So
second.
it. Whatever.
Thank you, Pam. All those in favor of going into executive session, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. It is now, what do I have? 8:38.
Do you guys need us to hang up and you call us back, or can we just stay on the line?
No. Tell them to hang up, and then we'll connect this.
Yeah, you can disconnect and they will contact you.
Okey-doke,
Great,
thanks.
thanks.
Greg, can you join us, please?
Well, check with Jim, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll talk to you later.
There are no more motions, right?
We still have enough people here to make a motion, so, but we're just, next meeting is, go ahead.
Well, hang on.
Pam, need to.
Yeah, do we need to dial them
So
back
you
in?
No, we don't need to dial anyone back,
Gotta
just not
come
making a
out of
motion. That's why we did it at the end.
Yeah, do your motion to come out of exec.
Do they need to vote?
All right, it's now 9:05. I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, Lori.
Second?
Thanks, Charles.
I could-
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Yeah, I heard you, Charles. All right, Joanne, you want to give us a report?
Okay, so we reviewed the response from Krieger's counsel to the letter of default that was sent to Krieger regarding the P3 Bridge project. They responded on February 27, 2025. I'm authorized to respond to it with what our next plan is regarding completion of these bridges and their compliance with it.
All right, thank you, Joanne. All right, that's it for the meeting. Next meeting is Tuesday, April 1st, 8:15 here in council chambers. Motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.